Beerzerker! You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's like Glacier hops and shit at 6.9% alpha acid shit. Dual purpose, man. It's gonna chill your shit off. You know what I'm saying? Get down with the Glacier shit. Yo, it's like Glacier hops and shit at 6.9% alpha acid shit. Dual purpose, man. It's gonna chill your shit off. You know what I'm saying? Get down with the Glacier shit. Yo, it's like Glacier.
Alright, so we're going to review Glacier hops, alright? So these are in pellet form. So I've used these quite a bit in a couple of my home brews here. I used them in a Scottish Heavy brown ale, Scottish Heavy and a brown ale, and an oatmeal stout. And in a white ale and a few other things. So it's pretty much mossy, peaty, and a little bit skunky. A slight bit of skunk and like a flower type bitterness. It's almost got a lemony type bitterness on the front of the tongue. It has kind of a bigger bitterness as it's settling in. It does have quite like a fair bit of attack. This is a dual purpose hop, so you can bitter with it. So there is that aspect, and it kind of has that Goldings type herbalness too, but carrying a whole lot more moss and peatiness. Actually, I love this hop. Be careful when you swallow the juices. It burns your throat. Wow, this is a great aroma hop. It's carrying a pretty solid bitterness at 6.9% alpha acid. It's not the lowest alpha acid hop. Yeah, I use this in... I just like tasting this. It's a bit harsh, but it's actually... I really enjoy this type of flavor. I put this in the oatmeal stout instead of Goldings, and I still put the 2 ounces or whatever it was that was called for with Goldings. Even though it's a 6.9% alpha acid instead of a 4% alpha acid, it didn't hurt the beer at all. It turned out really well. And this flavor profile goes really well with that type of beer, in my opinion. Good grief. Time to spit that out. Wow, it is pretty powerful. I mean, seriously. That's not a real sissy hop or anything. I've seen it been used to dry hop cask beer. So you can totally dry hop with it. You can put it late in the boil, whenever. Now that I'm tasting this, I was debating on my recipe. I had calculated it in for the last... Oh no, I had Goldings in there. I might put this in instead, because I'm doing a double black IPA with the Bravo here. I just reviewed the Bravo hop. 17.5% alpha acid in whole cone form. So, if you're interested in that hop, I'll be throwing that in with Columbus. So I'll be reviewing Columbus probably tomorrow. And I have some Goldings, and I have some Cascade. So those are all the hops that I'm going to be tasting out here. This has a really nice kind of light citrusy, like a British style citrusy aftertaste. I think this is an extremely versatile hop, and you could definitely do pretty well any of your British style beers with this. And like I said, the oatmeal stout would turn out really nice. I still have a growler left of that I've been just aging. I'll probably drink it here sometime this week whenever I do the brew here. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's carrying kind of a... Compared to Goldings, I don't think it's going to have that type of lingering hard bitterness. It really has a a nice lingering. I don't want to quite say piney, but it definitely has um, a hardcore mossy, but like hardcore bitterness. Like it's hard to explain. Like a very planty bitterness. That's kind of like verging, like it wants to. It's not quite in the American hop, but you can kind of taste the similarities of like where that bitterness originally came from in the American hops. It's kind of a reversion from that. So you're kind of seeing like, oh, where if you crossbred this with a different variety, you would get the typical like this type of hop, the Bravo or whatever type grapefruity, piney, resiny American style. You can taste where that's kind of hidden inside this flavor, but it's not the same. It's still like it's the British style. It's wow, I like this. I'm probably going to continue to buy this, especially for my British style beers, especially for stouts. I really like that peaty style in a stout or in a Scottish heavy, something with a little bit of malt or a little bit of flavor. Wow, that's packing some serious shit. Well, that's all there is to the rates in this. I can't really give it a much of a number rate. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't say that that's a shitty hop at all. I think that's very useful. So that's definitely, maybe I'll just do these out of 2 thumbs up or something. I never did the last one, but the Bravo was definitely. I'll know more when I brew with it because it was kind of strange to taste. There wasn't much flavor. It was just a bitterness from hell. Really, grapefruit bitterness, and that's about it. A little bit of piney, resiny. This is a much more complex hop and a much nicer, kind of fuller flavor. Much richer, heavier flavor, but with just a lower bitterness. I'd say it's definitely an awesome hop and worth checking out. Anyway, Beerzerker, yeah! Oh, wait. I just did the Cacapa beer from Mexico. These guys make some pretty good stuff, so if you got Cacapa, a chance to try that, definitely an upper class craft beer from Mexico. Beerzerker, and I'm out, yeah!